Hey, today we are going to be talking about the 4 reasons that you should not move to Atlanta, coming from somebody who did. Now, these are not the 4 things that I dislike about the city of Atlanta, because I'm not even sure I could come up with that many. But these are 4 things that if you cannot handle, you should not be moving here to Atlanta. Now, before I get started, do not be in my comments telling me that Sandy Springs is not Atlanta, that Alpharetta is not Atlanta, that Marietta is not Atlanta. In this video, whenever I mention Atlanta, I am talking about the entire metro area, from Buford all the way down to Peachtree City. So hold off in the comments, because I know that Sewanee is not Atlanta, but we are not gonna be exclusive in this video. Now, we are gonna get the biggest reason out of the way with number 1. If you have read any kind of lists about reasons not to move to Atlanta, then you have seen this front and center almost every time, and that is the traffic. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, the traffic has been as bad as people make it out to be. For whatever reason, the traffic in Atlanta seems to be way worse than it should be for a city of this size. But it does get very congested during the working hours or whenever there's a sporting event going on downtown. The traffic just seems to slow to an absolute crawl and you are not going anywhere. Now, I am going to add a little bit of a caveat to this one, because the traffic is only that bad if you are living outside of the city of Atlanta and commuting into the city of Atlanta regularly. So if you work in the downtown, midtown core, and you are living outside of the city, if you're along, Georgia 400, I-85, I-75, then I sure hope you like your audiobooks and podcasts, because it's gonna feel like you spend more time with them than you do with your family. That traffic is gonna be something that you have to get used to. But if you're like me and my family and you're living outside of the city of Atlanta itself, but you also work outside of the city of Atlanta, or you're not regularly commuting into the city during kind of those peak hours of 7 to 9 and then 4 to 6, then the traffic really isn't gonna be as bad as they make it out to be. So it does depend on your personal commuting schedule. The traffic is gonna be as bad as they say for kind of those regular driving to work, driving home from work. Whenever there's a sports game or an event going on downtown Atlanta, the traffic is gonna get really bad. But if you are outside of those times and kind of outside of the main highways coming into the city of Atlanta, then you're gonna be okay on the traffic. And that's gonna lead us right into reason number 2, which is pretty similar, and that's gonna be the public transportation. Now, I did wanna mention this, the public transportation within the city of Atlanta is much better than people give it credit for. Actually, I think it's a really great public transportation system. You have the MARTA lines, which are the light rail transit here in the city. We have one line going east to west, and then one down south from the airport all the way up north to basically the tip of the northern suburbs. And that's gonna be great for people who have easy access to it. That takes you through the downtown core, again, to the airport. There's gonna be a station near downtown where those 2 lines are gonna meet, and you can transfer from one to the other. And for many people who are coming in to work downtown or coming in for sporting or other events, it's great to be able to park at these MARTA stations. Often you can park there for free and then ride the transit into downtown, skip all that traffic, and then similarly get out when you are finished with what you're doing. Also, if you're living along any of these MARTA lines and you're commuting downtown or midtown for work, then that's gonna be a really easy option to get there. And that's gonna make the traffic issue kind of null and void if you can take these transit options. Atlanta also has a great bus system in town. So if you're living in town and commuting through the city of Atlanta, then those are gonna be a great option for you as well. The issue is when you realize that Atlanta is a city of about 500,000 people, but the metro area is about 6.5 million people. You realize that most people are living outside of the city core of Atlanta, and that's where you're gonna run into public transportation issues. Public transportation from the city of Atlanta out to those outer suburbs is basically non-existent. There's little to no transportation that goes from the city of Atlanta out to those outer suburbs. So if you're thinking about living out in the cities that surround the city of Atlanta, you are going to need a car, and depending on your family size, maybe 2 or 3, especially if you're regularly coming into the city. There just aren't many options to go from the city of Atlanta out to Alpharetta or Marietta or Peachtree City, wherever you're going to. There have been proposals to extend those in the past, and those have got shot down pretty quick. So I don't imagine there's gonna be MARTA rails or buses that are going anytime soon from the city of Atlanta out to those outer suburbs. So do plan on having a car if you're gonna live in those outer cities and commute fairly regularly to the city of Atlanta. Now, hey, really quick, if you are thinking about moving to the metro Atlanta area, if these things are not total deal breakers for you, then me and my team would love to help you out with that move. We are the Atlas Real Estate team, and we help people who are relocating to the metro Atlanta area buy a house and find their perfect community. So if that is you, all of our information is down in the description or the pinned comment. Go ahead and reach out however you feel most comfortable, and we would be happy to help you out. Now, reason number 3 is the weather, and this is gonna be super dependent on what your personal preference is. Before me and my wife moved to the Atlanta area, we had heard all the time about how hot the summers were gonna get. We were gonna spend our life hiding away where we can find AC, and that we're not gonna enjoy our summers here at all. And that has really been the opposite of what we found since we moved here. We love our time outside in the summers. We enjoy the heat so much more. We were coming from a cold weather city. And so we came here, we have thrived in the heat. We love it in the summers. We get to get outside as much as we possibly can. So it's been a much easier transition living here than people would have made it seem like. What you have to realize is that Atlanta is not Phoenix or Miami. The heat does not get that bad. The humidity is not nearly as bad as it is down in Florida. But if you're not used to a humid heat, it can be something that does take some getting used to. When you hide out in the shade underneath a tree, you don't find the same relief that you would if you were in a dry heat. It really does kind of stick with you. But if you are okay with the humidity and the heat like we are, then you are gonna love your time in Atlanta. But if the humidity and the heat is something that's a deal breaker for you, do not move to the Atlanta area. Now getting into reason number 4, and that is gonna be the critters here in the metro Atlanta area. And this is the thing for the entire south region of the US. Coming from a northern kind of more cold city, we were not prepared for the amount of critters that you are gonna face here in your day-to-day life, whether it's opossums and rats or palmetto bugs, even the occasional lizards that are getting to our house from time to time. If you are squeamish around that kind of thing and you don't have a designated person in your house who takes care of whatever sneaks in, then that's gonna be something that you have a hard time with. Maybe you should reconsider moving to the south as a whole. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I tried really hard to come up with a 5th reason because that's a nice number and it sounds better on a YouTube thumbnail, but I just couldn't. I looked across other people's lists and thought of maybe some of the things that we've noticed since we've encountered here, but I think a lot of those other reasons are overblown, whether it's the crime, which statistically isn't nearly as bad as people make it out to be, or the airport, which actually is one of the better ones in the country, one of the best ones that I've been to by any means. So I tried to get you a 5th one, but those really are the 4 reasons that I think you should not move to Atlanta if any of those are deal breakers. Now, if these things aren't deal breakers, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be putting out a lot of content about what it's like to live in various different communities in the metro Atlanta area. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And again, if you're thinking about moving to the metro Atlanta area, go ahead and reach out to the Atlas Real Estate team. We'd be happy to help.